Hey everybody, welcome to the Guitars and Gear Podcast, a podcast where we explore the world of guitars, gear, and artists from a player's perspective, as well as a good bit of off-topic rambling. So good morning, happy Sunday morning, very early.
Super Bowl Sunday, good morning.
Super Bowl Sunday, yeah. I almost forgot.
Hey.
Wow. I did almost forget about that.
It's because it's so early.
So who are you going for?
I'm going for the Chiefs.
Me too.
Just because.
Me too, because you're my wife and I have to say that. No, because we can't argue during the Super Bowl. No, it would be cool.
But
because you're wearing your Green Bay today. Yeah.
Just because.
And obviously
sadness.
I'm an Eagles fan.
Yes.
And so, yeah.
It
could have been a possibility that those two could have been in the Super Bowl against each other. We are looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Because that would have been really cool.
Yeah.
Because even though it would be competing teams, it would be a lot of fun, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyway, I guess go Chiefs, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody in the red.
Well, they're all in the red,
yes. Right? I'm voting for the red team. Yeah.
No, really, I guess it's kind of a toss-up this year.
Is.
It'd be nice to see Patrick Mahomes get a Super Bowl ring because he's such a talented young quarterback, and you know, I guess he's got a lot of years though, also. But they're both some young quarterbacks on either side of the ball. So
Jimmy.
So anyway, good luck to anybody, and good luck to your team, whoever your team happens to be. It's going to be a good Super Bowl this year, so hey, whatever. I don't even know who's doing the Super Bowl halftime show.
It is J-Lo and Shakira.
J-Lo
How
and
could you not know
That's
that?
right. I did.
Yeah,
I just forgot.
Man.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, just pretend like.
I'm much more of a Shakira fan than a J-Lo fan, I think. Nah? You're more of a J-Lo fan?
J-Lo.
Well, you like the movies and stuff, too, that she's been in.
Yeah, I like the movies. I like her music.
Like her music, yeah. Yeah, I guess it's kind of a toss-up. I just think Shakira's hotter.
Yeah, but she's so tiny.
Although Jennifer Lopez wasn't she voted like the most beautiful woman in the world or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah. She is kind of pretty, too.
She is.
But
A-Rod likes her. They're engaged.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Well.
There's your off-topic rambling.
That is off-topic. That's huge off-topic.
But it is music. It is.
Yeah, so if anybody listening knows that we're missing in action Dave this morning for this week's podcast. He's awful busy and couldn't make the podcast. So he's down in Florida getting all the scoop.
Yeah.
Since that is so he did let us know some news, a little tidbit of news. So we'll cover that at the end. But yeah, so Dave will be back next week. And yeah. Anyway, so it might not be as much off-topic banter as we're used to, but hey.
Since I don't talk a whole lot.
But you're doing good because it's like 5:08 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, that's true.
It is really early.
Very early.
And I was so shocked that you were even up. I was going to do this by myself.
Aw.
Or we'd just do it later in the day, but then it's chaos around here.
Yeah.
You know.
By then the animals are talking.
Yeah. So I'll ask you like I don't know, but how was your week, Janae?
It was really good. It was really good, yeah.
What was your highlight of the week?
Watching our son practicing baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was...
Even though part of his tooth did get knocked off again.
Yeah, so... a lot of parents out there who have kids in sports, maybe you've all experienced this before. But, last year in baseball, he got... just practicing before the game and had a ball thrown at him, wasn't ready for it. Missed a catch, hit him in the face, right in the teeth, and chipped tooth. So not the end of the world. We didn't lose a tooth, just chipped it a little bit. But we had it filled in and built up and all that.
And he's done good since spring of last year.
But he was going for it last night and
clenched his teeth
too hard.
Don't
came
clench.
up to us, look, and I was like, aw, so it's okay.
Now I have a piece of tooth.
I was like, well, does it hurt? No. Can I eat?
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah. So yeah, at least he's swinging, he's involved in it, and
yeah, that was really good.
So that's my highlight.
Yeah, he has a little more confidence this year than he had last year, which is great.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Yeah. Such as anything, I guess, you practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so it was a good week around here. I got some lots of new gear.
Yeah. Merry late Christmas, eh?
Yeah, it's like before Christmas, after Christmas, everything. So I mentioned last week I got the Variax Shuriken guitar, the S250, which is the 25.5-inch scale. There's the baritone S270 or SR270, I forget what they call it. Anyway, the 27-inch scale one, the baritone guitar, I don't have that one. I got the 250 because I like the normal type scale guitar necks anyway. And with the Variax, you can tune it down to baritone anyway if you want to, through that whole Variax magician trickery stuff that they do. So anyway, as soon as I got that and I broke it out, and the quick review of the setup, I had everything plugged in. It comes with this box kind of thing that plugs into your USB on your computer. And then you plug basically a RJ45 Cat5e cable that they include with it into that, and then plug that into your Variax guitar, and that's how you bring up the HD Workbench software on your computer, and you can play with all the tunings and the string volume and the different models of guitars that you can play through, with this. So that's how you do it out of the box if you were to program it. Once you're done doing that, everything is stored onto your guitar, and with a battery, it's like a big, like a lithium battery that plugs into the back of it, a little door that opens, and you plug it in. Then you can just plug in a regular 1/4-inch jack into whatever amplifier or effects processor or whatever you're running through, and dial up all your stuff with little dials on the guitar. So it's very cool. Works great. But to take it a step further, oh, and by the way, it's a well-built, it seems like a very well-built guitar. It's built by Yamaha and Shuriken Guitars, and in collaboration with Line 6, Shuriken Guitars and Yamaha, who owns Line 6, built this guitar, and I think it's very well built. I didn't see any issues with it so far. Knock on if you can hear that. Knock on wood. Oh no! Oh gosh, the dogs think there's somebody at the door.
It's okay.
So so far it seems really good. Tuners seem great. String height's a little. I might have it try to get it. Oh, there's the dogs.
Dog yawning.
So I might have to try to adjust the action on it a little bit. But really, all in all, I think it's a great instrument so far. Yeah. So anyway, to take all that a step further. If you hook it up to let's go back a little bit, the Line 6 HD 500, 500X, all that stuff, or you can do the Firehawk, if anybody knows those things. You can do the AxeFX, or AxeFX3, AxeFX2, AxeFX3. So I have an AxeFX3. Or not an AxeFX.
No.
What am I thinking of? That's a totally different...
Yeah.
Helix.
Wake up.
Yeah, wake up. Helix LT, that stuff.
It does have an X.
Not the Stomp. The Stomp doesn't have the Variax stuff in it. And the new Podgo does not have the Variax stuff in it. But the Helix, so I got a Helix. I got a demo Helix rack from Sweetwater, and the Helix controller, which is the floor controller, basically a foot switch that connects to the Helix. So those two things working together, you plug in a Variax cable, which is basically a Cat5 cable wrapped around like an XLR type inputs. Plug that into the back of the Helix, plug it into your Variax guitar, and so now you don't need the battery. It's powered through the Helix. Don't need any battery. You can launch the Workbench software right through there. You don't have to hook up any additional equipment. So all that stuff I told you about earlier with the little box that you plug in USB to your thing and plug the Cat5 in and all that rigmarole and the battery, you don't need any of that anymore. Plug it directly into your Helix and you're good to go. And it works great. Really, really, really cool. I mean, you can switch patches or presets, as they call them on Line 6. You switch a preset, you can switch all your Variax settings as well, right through the Helix. So you don't even have to access the HD Workbench if you don't really want to. You can also change up different guitar models, different string tunings, different string volumes, anything you want in different snapshots within the preset. So for those that don't know, every preset has up to 8 snapshots of that preset. So you can change things within the preset, like turning on and off different effects, or changing the gain on an amp, or in this case, changing from a Les Paul style guitar to a Telecaster style guitar, or an acoustic style guitar with drop C tuning if you wanted to. And that you can do right on the fly. So as soon as you hit the foot switch on the Helix to switch to another preset or another snapshot within a preset, it changes all the settings on your guitar. It is.
So it's like you have a second and third guitarist around you.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's really amazing. And on top of all that, what I found out is when you plug into there's a Variax jack on the guitar, and there's also the 1/4-inch jack, like I mentioned earlier. So there's 2 outputs on the guitar. So you can do the 1/4-inch at the same time as you're doing the Variax. So that opens up a whole new level of tonal possibilities, because now through the Helix, you can have 2 separate inputs, one from the Variax side of the guitar and one from the magnetic pickup side of the guitar. So you can change. It's almost like you have 2 guitars plugged into the Helix at the same time, and you're playing at the same time. So you can have 2 totally different signal chains going, mix them together, basically, and have a really cool tone that way. Or something else I found out is by having the Axe FX3 and the Helix both on at the same time, both dialed into a patch or a preset, you can have the Variax guitar plugged into both the Line 6 Helix and the Axe FX3 at the same time, and play through the same thing and have that all output at the same time.
So it's like a duet.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know practically how you'd even record that, because it's like, well, I could record it through my audio interface. So I have a Behringer XR18 that everything's plugged into that too. So if you were to go through like whatever DAW you're using, and you'd only be able to really do, unless with some trickery, you can have multiple audio interfaces at the same time in your DAW, but that's really problematic and it's not really great. But normally you'd only have one audio interface dialed in. So with the Helix and the Axe FX3, they both act as audio interfaces. So instead of using them individually as audio interfaces, you would just use whatever a separate audio interface, in my case, the XR18 from Behringer, and then have the DAW pick up all the inputs from that and play them out. So you could have 2 separate tracks all playing the same thing at the same time, mix them together. Now you can do that doing a dry, just recording a dry track also, and adding in all your stuff later. But this just seems so much easier to me. So anyway, it's just something I found out, and I thought it was really
fun to play with.
Yeah, really cool. I'm rambling on about it, but really excited about the possibilities of it. So that guitar, the other 2 guitars sitting here now are just like, I'm not going to say they're going to collect dust, but I actually did. There's I guess on the Shuriken Variac guitar, they call it a Lester model, which is a Les Paul model. So I played through that with the same preset on the Helix, and then I plugged in the Epiphone Les Paul that I've discussed on the podcast before, and I plugged that in, not changing anything else, and I really kind of dug the Epiphone tone better. So it's not a 1-to-1.
No.
They try to get it to like a close match, but really the Lester on the Variax guitar and the magnetic pickup on the Variax guitar are extremely similar. So there's not too much of a difference between those 2. So the magnetic pickup on there is actually, I didn't really talk about that, but it's pretty good. I'm kind of impressed with it. It's like a medium gain pickup, so it's not really super noisy or anything, or super loud, but it gets the job done and it's quiet. And yeah, I don't think there's much to say about it. I guess it says generic. Not really. I guess generic might be a good term. Baseline, yeah.
Yeah, let's go with
baseline.
Generic just sounds like
generic sounds like cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not cheap.
No.
That I know of anyway. But it does seem kind of middle of the road, like it's not trying to be one thing or the other. It's just middle of the road kind of pickup output and all that. So cool.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
It's very stylish.
Yeah, it looks
sleek.
Great. Like they were saying, I guess like the Batman type guitar.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is kind of Batman-ish.
So I got the flat black. I mean, you could get different finishes, but they're very rare. They only made so many of them with different finishes. And the one that I could find, which is like a red with like, I think it's like black pinstripes or something like that. I didn't really dig it. It wasn't my style. So the flat black is definitely cool. And the neck is nice and smooth too. It's not like on the Epiphone Les Paul, it has a gloss, on the back of the neck. This is that flat material, so it stays. It almost feels a lot like the Kiesel, which has just the natural tongue oil finish on it. Feels a lot like that, but maybe even a little bit smoother. But it's probably smoother because my grubby hands haven't been on it as much. Okay. So that was my week.
Yeah.
Boy, that was a long way to go. But yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. So if you have the means, I highly suggest you try it, a Variax guitar, because I was really skeptical. I've seen them for years, and I've wanted to try one for years, and I've never found one to try. So I finally just said, what the hell? Let's do it. See what happens. And if anybody's interested, the Fender Stratocaster that I had, the all full scallop neck Yngwie Malmsteen Stratocaster, is up on Reverb right now, so go out and check it out. It's up for $1,600 USD, free shipping. So give it a check. It is fairly unique, where that 12th fret marker on the top of the fretboard is missing a dot from the manufacturer, which is very cool. So it's a one of a kind.
Yes,
you could say that.
It is original.
So if anybody's interested, you can check that out. Let's see, heater just kicked on. Must be cold this morning.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into... Shall we get into some news?
Sure. Get us rolling.
You're so excited about it.
I haven't gotten enough coffee.
All right, here we go. And this is the news. Yay. All right. So let's talk NAMM, some more NAMM 2020 stuff. It just keeps popping up.
It does.
And I don't know how I missed this.
Because we can only fit so much in.
Yeah, but I mean, normally you hear a lot of news surrounding, like, new gear coming out.
Oh, true.
This one slipped through, I think, a lot of radars because we're tired of hearing it, I think.
That could be. Yes.
We're tired of...
They're repeat offenders.
They are. And we're talking about Mooer. Mooer is coming out with a GE300 Lite.
Thank goodness it's Lite.
So the title of this article from Gear News, and this sums it up really well. Yes, another Mooer. So they're basically creating a line of floor effects pedal modelers for every single budget available, I think.
You mean I could afford it?
You could afford one of them.
Well, yeah.
You could afford all of them if you really wanted to, but we're looking at... Now, I'm going to their page now. So as of, let's see, October last year, they announced the GE... I'm probably going to get this wrong. I think they announced the GE250 in October last year. I think around November, December, they announced the GE150. As we know, the GE300 came out last year, around summer, I think, of last year. So that was their new flagship, the GE300, to replace the aging GE200. So the GE300 was supposed to have some new modeling type stuff in it. Had the whole synth engine built into it, which a lot of people were really excited about. Me, and don't really care about that. A lot of people didn't really care about that either. So it's like, but this thing was retailing for $800. But it had everything in the kitchen sink kind of thrown in there. So after that, as I said, they came out to $250, the $150 just recently. Now they announced the GE300 Lite. So you might ask, what makes it light?
It looks smaller.
It looks smaller,
what makes it light?
Yeah, they're going away with the expression pedals gone. Okay. So you'll be able to plug in your own expression pedal, which is kind of nice, I think. You know, because
as many as you've gone through,
yeah, as you have them built in. Although they're pretty robust, I don't think they break a whole lot. But you'll be able to get your own expression pedal, something that you like, and plug it in. You can unplug it if you don't need it, so it's not there taking up room. Another thing that they got rid of is the whole synth engine is gone. So removed, gone, no longer a thing. So you're just getting amp models and effects, and that's about it. So it's basically a light version of the GE300. Looks like the display is the same. Signal chain looks pretty much the same. Of course, you're not getting the synth part of it, you know, but looks like it's trimmed down, I think, by 2 foot switches. There's 8 foot switches on there instead of 10, which was on the original one. And I think that's probably about it. There's not much information on, or really no information on pricing, but I would expect it to be a good bit less expensive. I'm assuming it's probably going to be in the $450 to $500 range, something to compete with the Pod Go, which is the Line 6 stripped down. How do we want to say this? A stripped down Helix LT, maybe. So it's really stripped down in the fact that the signal chain's a lot smaller, less you can do with it. It's more like a simple interface, more simple than the Helix interface. But it has pretty much all the Helix models in it. I think there's 3 or so different effects that didn't make the cut, that wouldn't fit. And it's probably just DSP power or things like that. Processing power couldn't handle it. But I think the GE300 Lite is going to hopefully, I don't know if I really care, but
for those
compete price-wise with probably that range. Yeah. But the amp modeling on that thing is really pretty darn decent. Signal chain isn't as robust as things like the Helix or the Axe effects or things like that. But it's pretty good, you know. So that you guys can check that out. That's coming out sometime. I don't even know if they said when it's coming out. The looper is trimmed down also. It's only got a 30-second looper. I think the one in the GE300 had like 20 minutes or something. Unbelievably long.
Well, I would expect the price would be even cheaper then.
Yeah. So, yeah, maybe $399.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? Maybe they'll really be aggressive with pricing on that one. So anyway, that is the GE300 Lite from Mooer coming out sometime. I think I heard April, but don't quote me on that. So we'll see.
Tax time.
See when it comes out. Yeah. Yeah, tax returns in the U.S. Yeah. Yeah. Get your chunk of money and then off you go. Yeah. All right, next up. Okay. So as y'all know, I talk about it every week. And I'm excited about it, and I'm not sure why anymore. The Positive Grid Spark amp, little practice amp. All excited for it. The app came out on the on iOS. Yeah. So on my my Apple iPad, I have the app downloaded,
ready to go.
Ready to go. No device yet.
Yep.
But the app is ready to go. I have the app on my Samsung Galaxy Note 10. It's ready to go. But curiously, I found out, I noticed the apps are slightly different between iOS and Android. I think the Android one is maybe farther behind.
Yeah.
Version-wise than the... I didn't really confirm that, but it's different. The interface is slightly different. There's no voice control yet icon on the Android version of it, but on iOS there is. iOS looks like the version that you see on all the promo videos and stuff, and all the stuff you've seen at NAMM and stuff when they're demoing the all of it, and all the kind of, I'm going to say, promotional videos from YouTubers and stuff that you've seen out there, because they're pretty much promotional videos. Those apps look a lot like the iOS one. The Android one, I think, is a little farther behind, but they're working on it apparently. So there's big controversy now. Of course, there always is.
Always.
Things have been delayed. I think I covered that last week. But there is delays going on. So I was looking through the forums. The title of this post here is "Power Supporters Looking Like April for Us. Disgraceful." Oh.
Some strong words,
Bad news. So apparently somebody had gone to the Positive Grid support, said, "Hey, where's my order? It's supposed to be here." So they said with the thanks for writing us. Basically, it says number of orders we received. We've run into production snag. They're running short on one of the small components in the Spark. Uh-oh. So the good news is they've been able to resource the components, and now they're back on track. However, the shortage has created a delay past our original estimate for February shipping. Okay, and this is where it gets interesting from here on now. So we will begin shipping the early bird and super early bird orders the first week of February. So
this week? Okay.
Yeah, but
wait.
But those orders only counted about 1,100 orders total, 1,100 or 1,200 orders. Your order and those of other power supporters and player special purchases will follow in the order in which they were received. We estimate now that you will receive your order in March or April, depending how early it was purchased. So we're looking at April.
Yeah.
Because I had to redo it to get my $25 off. I'm not sure.
See what you get for being cheap like me.
It's probably still worth it. It gives me a longer of a time, because now it's going to be in a lot of people's hands for at least a month or two before I even get a notification that mine's going to ship. So in that case, I can always cancel it once I see some real use cases, real people using it and what they think of it. So at this point, we understand if you want to cancel your pre-order and have a refund instead, please let me know. So basically, they're saying, we know you're pissed off now.
Yeah.
So if you want to,
Plus, you could see reviews from people who got the initial orders.
Yeah.
That they accounted for, versus the ones where they're resourcing out, if there's a quality difference.
Oh, that's a good point.
So
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you outsource and.
Yeah. Or maybe the first ones have all sorts of issues that are fixed with the sourced part. You never know. Be.
So see what happens.
Yeah, oh man, the coffee tastes good. It's too early, man. 5:34. All right. So anyway, they did post an update on their website saying there's a shipping update, but all they really said in this is that the super early and early bird pre-order customers will get theirs a little bit early. So that's all they really said. So now today, if you go to the pre-order page, we scroll all the way down to those super early bird and early bird ones. So the early bird ones, there was 750.
Okay.
All right, so I lied. Oh yeah, no, I didn't lie. I didn't lie.
Okay.
So there's 750 of the early birds that were pre-ordered, and there were 300 of the super early birds that were pre-ordered. So 750, 850, 950. Yeah. So roughly
almost
1,050 is what they're going to ship. It looks like in February.
Sometime in February, yeah.
First week of February.
This week.
Is what they said, right? Now here's the rub. Currently, there's only 2 options of pre-order now. Originally there was 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12 total ways you could pre-order depending on what stage you hit, right? So now there's 2 left. The one that I did, the player's special, with just the spark. And there's a player special that gives you a spark and a bag to put your spark in, right? So that one is $262. The one I got is $224 minus the $25.
Yeah.
The tax, all that stuff came out to $200 some odd $204 or something.
We'll find you a bag if you want.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I'll need a bag. It's going to stay wherever it remains, or it's going to go up on.
It'll sit here.
Or it's going to go on.
Or reverb.
Which there might be a lot of them on reverb then, so who knows.
So anyway.
Or it might be great. But anyway, if you were to pre-order today, right now, the estimated delivery still says February 2020. So if you're just going in there and hitting, oh yeah, February? Dude, we're in February. I'm getting it this month.
Yeah.
At this point, and they're still upping the pre-order amounts as well. So they haven't cut off pre-orders. Oh. So at this point, if you were to pre-order right now as I'm looking at this, it's at 7,114 out of 7,114 out of 7,250 7,250 sold. So
Maybe
they keep
you should
upping
write
it.
to them
and
tell them false advertising.
I'm not the only one that's been going off on this. So, so if you were to pre-order today, it still says that estimated delivery is February 2020.
Don't fall for it.
Yeah, and this whole controversy came out a couple days ago, and they still have yet to update their site to show that, which I think is a huge undersight on their part. Maybe they're not reviewing this as well as they should be. Somebody's got to turn off. The person's
on vacation.
They need to stop the pre-orders, I think, at this point. Unless they can say, hey, you can pre-order it. You'll get it in the next few months. We can't guarantee a delivery date, is what they should say.
Yeah.
But at this point, they're just racking in money at this point, I think. Yeah. Or at least just duping people into pre-ordering, thinking they're getting it before they do.
And then they'll get the oops.
Yeah, so it makes me kind of not want to pre-order it, but I still do, and I don't know why. It just looks really cool. I just hope it delivers on it. So we'll see. We're going to keep an eye on this, and I'm going to talk about going to talk about it next week too.
Yeah.
And the week after, because I think it's newsworthy about what they're doing, and it's going to go into the next topic I want to talk about. Okay. But I want to see companies
be held accountable
and honest about what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's kind of not something you usually see in this business. Mm-hmm. But, let's move on. All right, so that's the Positive Grid Spark speech of the day.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I was going to do something.
More money going.
No, that's not a good one. I don't know. I'm not going to mess with it because I'll screw it all up. All right, so let's move on. So the next bit of news I have is on the Neural DSP Quad Cortex, which I'm really stoked about too. I mean, I got a pre-order for that too. How the hell am I going to pay for all this stuff? Jeez, I have to sell a kidney. Yeah. If anybody needs a kidney, no, I'm not going to even go there. All right, so I watched a YouTube video because I watch a lot of YouTube videos to get a lot of my news and things like that, and it's such a great resource for a lot of stuff. Yeah. So Leon Todd and Black Synth Studios, I don't even know the guy's name on there. I should. Anyway, they did a video together, and if nobody's, I'm especially a huge fan of Leon Todd. He's an Australian guitar player. He's in a band. And oh gosh, what's his band called? I think he has Ragdoll. Okay. Band is called Ragdoll. I think they tour a lot around Australia and stuff, so I'm not sure you'll see him outside of there too much. But great guy. He does online lessons too. So if you want lessons anywhere in the world, you can sign up and get personalized lessons with Leon.
Nice.
He's a great guy. Looks like he's an awesome guitar player. He's a gear guy. He's just cool. So check him out on his YouTube channel. But anyway,
like Neil from Young Ones.
Does he?
He does.
I never saw that show. I don't know. But he's a cool guy, so check him out. He's a great guitar player and really knowledgeable. But anyway, they had the burst. Wow. Slow down, John.
Yeah.
The best and worst of NAMM 2020. So they talked about a lot of stuff on there. The one thing that the guy from that Black Synth Studios talked about was the Quad Cortex, and he started kind of slamming their marketing, because in their marketing they say, the most powerful floor processor on the planet, which I don't think anybody can dispute based on the specs of the thing. What he was disputing, though, is it says there's 2 gigahertz of dedicated DSP from its quad-core Shark architecture. So he had a huge issue with that, because they're in reality, they're 4 500 megahertz quad-core Shark processors. 4 of them in there, along with ARM processors to handle the display and stuff like that. Yeah. The graphics side of it, and probably maybe some of the audio in and out stuff. But so he had a big problem with that. Also in their marketing spiel, they talk about a biometric AI technology and sophisticated neural network algorithms. So according to him, he said that, you cannot have neural network algorithms running on embedded architecture like this. It just doesn't work. It's impossible. So very interestingly, in the comment section of that same video, in the very first, it was a pinned reply by Doug Castro, who is the CEO of Neural DSP, chimed in, and he wanted to set the record straight, which is all right. So no matter what you think of their marketing of this thing, they're obviously using creative language. I don't think they're lying based on his reply, but they're using creative language to really sound awesome, right? Yeah. Which is what marketing people should do. Yeah. And I'm sure Mr. Castro probably didn't come up with all the marketing speech on there, but he probably had a direct involvement in it.
He's got to approve it.
Right. So anyway, I'm just going to read a little bit of his response with regards to the 2 gigahertz claim. So he says the process of running 4 cores at 500 megahertz results in a comparable performance of a single core 2 gigahertz processor, as the resulting flops are in fact multiplied by the number of cores. True statement, right?
Math.
Yeah. In many regards, the performance benefits from multi-core architecture such as this not only make it comparable, but actually superior to a single 2 gigahertz core, parallelization of operations, and the higher reliability of a fully redundant system. So that makes total sense, right? So I'm on board. Okay, 2 gigahertz of total, they should say 2 gigahertz of total processing, but that's still, it's wordsmithing it, right?
Yeah.
But you could say total processing power equivalent or greater than a 2 gigahertz single core or something, right? But people have to read too much wordy. There. It's too wordy. Yeah. All right. So I'm on board with that. Yeah. I'm fine with it. I like reading that. 2 gigahertz of processing power. Sounds great. All right. Regarding the embedded network, neural networks have been implemented in embedded devices before. So to say that what we claim is impossible is simply not accurate anymore, particularly if not familiar with our algorithm optimization processes and techniques to leverage the device's entire processing power. And here he goes on to reiterate there's 4 Shark processors and 2 ARM cores for that purpose. Many devices with far less processing power can run pre-trained neural networks efficiently enough. The interface process is radically less computationally demanding than training as well. So he goes on to say that. And then, of course, they did make a claim of something like it's trained. They do the neural capture, which is probably their version of the Kemper profiling techniques to capture an amplifier state, I guess you could say, like a profile of that amplifier. So they said somewhere in their marketing that it was akin to human ear perception is how it works.
Okay.
And of course, their argument was, well, human ears are flawed, so the sound's going to be flawed, and it's just a dumb way of doing it or something. I don't know. Without even demoing it. Like, we haven't seen a demo of how this neural capture goes and how well it is, and A/B between a real amp and the captured amp on the quad Cortex. So we haven't seen that yet. So I'm assuming this is stuff they're still working through. But they are leveraging a lot of that technology that they've used for their plugins, which are excellent. So I have no doubt that they're able to do what they claim that they can do at the level that they can do it. I have no reason to doubt them for that, because we have no way to compare it.
Yeah.
So to make a claim that, well, that's just dumb, is kind of dumb in itself, right? So so Doug Castro here, Mr. Castro, replies to that. He says, learning akin to human perception. So here's his response. This actually ties up the wrong claim you made regarding the impossibility of having machine learning of this type in an embedded system. Training neural networks for audio applications is challenging, as typical loss functions are way far more subtle or suitable. For example, a human ear has certain properties when it comes to frequency, phase, and sound levels. If these are not taken into account, training is too slow or even impossible. So, interesting take on that. And this guy seems to really know his stuff, So I would think he's very. They've been working on the quad Cortex for over 2 years before they even announced it.
Yeah.
So. He's really intimately involved in this, and they really know what they're doing. So, the first version of neural capture did take 10 hours of training on a very powerful GPU. Half of the development time spent on this feature alone has been dedicated to optimizing it and porting it to their embedded platform. So, they're working hard on this, so that's awesome. They said, don't take my word for it. The product will be out in a few months, and some of our machine learning team are eager to write a few papers on the subject. So, they're really looking forward to showing this stuff off, and I'm looking forward to hearing it too.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's great that YouTubers and reviewers and people, the skepticism, I enjoy reading. I really enjoyed the video they did on everything. And so, you guys should check it out. Just do a search on best and worst of NAMM 2020 and you'll find it. But I like the fact that, like, even myself and you and Dave and anybody else who has a voice that talks about this stuff, we give our perception of it, right?
Yeah.
I already talked about how skeptical I am of the Spark amp. It may be the best thing ever. It may be shit.
Yeah.
Who knows? But regardless of that, this is our perception of it based on what we know so far. This is what they're doing too. So I don't fault these guys for claiming that this is impossible or this is junk or this might not work. What's awesome is that they sparked the the conversation. And the fact that the CEO of a company came in there and was like, hey, let me talk about this with you guys.
Yeah.
Because obviously our marketing
have an adult discussion
is
in a way.
Confusing people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I highly suggest, folks, if you are, skeptical about stuff, reach out to the companies, ask some questions. Go to your favorite YouTubers out there and post some comments in there and see what kind of responses you get. And maybe with enough interest, we get enough people talking. It's social networks, right?
Yeah.
You get people.
It's the way of the world now.
Yeah. So even though there seems to be controversy everywhere, I'm going to go into another one here in a second. And we're going to talk about that. But it's kind of crazy, but with enough people talking, things kind of get out there. In this case, I'm not sure what's going to happen. So Fractal Audio, this really isn't big in the news right now. No. I haven't really seen a whole lot about it other than if you're in the know, then it's kind of bothering you. But the Fractal FM3, which is their floor-based modeler effects unit, akin to like the AX8, which they had before, which is modeled after the XFX2. The FM3 is basically modeled after the same architecture as the XFX3 with less processing power, but you get all that type of modeling and architecture into a small floor-based unit that you can just kind of throw in a bag and take with you to your gig. So you can go onto their site. I'm not going to go over specs on that and everything. But the thing is they had a pre-order out. I think it was either March or April of last year that they said, hey, go ahead and throw your name in to reserve yours. It's coming out. You know, they had a press release. They had all sorts of stuff. There's a web page on it, on Fractal's site. So you can go. I went and put my name in. I don't have any intention of buying one at this point with the XFX3. I have no need for this thing. I don't tour. I don't gig. So I don't need to take anything with me. If I did, and that was my job and I made money at that, then I'd probably get one, because you can take your XFX3 stuff that you dial in at home or in your studio, load it onto your FM3. It only does, I think, 1 amp model, so you got to keep your signal chain a little simplified, but or more simplified than you normally would on an X3 if you're going crazy, But you could take those models or those presets and everything with you, throw it on there, and take it to your gig and play. So that's very, very awesome. I think it's worth it for that. It's $1,000 though, so it's going to be a little on the pricier side, but you're getting that Aries architecture and all that crap. So here's where the discussion lies. So they said, put in your name. This thing's gonna come out in a couple months or something, I think they said. So it's been pushed back and pushed back. So October last year, I think it was like October, November, somewhere around Thanksgiving, people were hoping, hey, this thing's gonna be released. Even Fractal was like, hey, we're only days away, we're days, not weeks or months, I think is what they said in one post. Then that became well, we're still working on it kind of thing. That was, I think, back in December. We're really close kind of thing. Now we're into February. There hasn't been anything really.
No new updates.
Nothing really on the horizon. People are kind of getting a little
angry,
anxious, I'll say. Some people are like, come on, man, give us something. I think people are getting more anxious over it or spun up over it only because there's no new news. They're basically like, just give us some news on this thing, and we'll go back to talking about what we're gonna do with it. So there's that. So I have nothing to say other than that, but
other than there's still no news on it.
Yeah, there's still really no news on it. So it's kind of disappointing. But a lot of people are saying, they bought an XFX3 to kind of placate them until the FM3 came out. And I've seen a couple posts out there that's saying, well, I got my XFX3 on a sale.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to give it up now. So they said I might get an FM3 eventually, but at this point, because a lot of people are
maybe once it's actually out.
A lot of people are like, I'll buy an XFX3 and then I'll sell it when the FM3 comes out. But I think a lot of people are going to end up keeping their X3.
Mm-hmm.
So, this last post on here was just posted yesterday. It says, well, I will buy an FM3. Will I sell my XFX3? Maybe. So we'll see. See what this thing is like when it does finally get out in the wild and people actually are able to touch and feel it. So anyway, that's my news on that. I think that's all really the gear news I have for this week. We do have some artist news though, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've been talking too long. Go ahead, Janae.
Good morning, everybody. So I stumbled on a story about Geddy Lee's 1959 Les Paul Standard that was up on the auction block. It got put up back in October, but nobody wanted to fork out the money. So then finally for just over $215,000.
Wow.
Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick
Ended up
buying
buying
it to add to his extensive collection. So
nice.
And just from this clip of YouTube, he sure does look happy.
Does he? For spending
$215,000 on a very nice.
Well, I guess if
guitar,
you're him, you can afford it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a lot of money for a guitar. So
that is.
Geddy Lee's the bass player for
Rush.
For Rush. If anybody doesn't know, if you're like that person that
just landed on Earth.
Just yeah. Oh, we didn't get a shout out to our
Baz.
To our boy Baz. Yeah.
Hey Baz.
Hey Baz. So Geddy Lee is the bass player from Rush, but he does have an extensive collection of guitars and basses and all sorts of stuff. So so that's kind of where this comes from. I don't know if I should know maybe if Geddy Lee plays guitar. I guess he probably does, maybe.
He might.
Yeah.
But according to this story, he's compiling a big, beautiful book of bass.
Oh,
so
yeah. Cool.
He's doing something with all of them, but
nice.
When you have too many, that's a lot of writing you got to do.
I guess.
Get rid of some, then you're going to have to
That's pretty cool,
document. Though. So, yeah.
I mean, you got to do something with,
well, yeah.
Your love of, like me, I have a love of all this gear and technology stuff and everything, right? I mean, I've gone from doing the modeling thing to getting rid of it all and getting tube amps to getting rid of tube amps. And now here I am back into modeling. And
it's like the great flow and ebb.
Yeah. See, I don't tend to collect things, though.
No.
I'm not really a collector.
We don't have room for you to collect.
Not really. I'm not. Yeah, and I don't have the money to collect.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the difference, right?
You're a sampler.
Yeah. I guess if I had the experiences, I guess you could say that about anybody, though. If you have the experiences, you have the money, you have the means.
Yeah.
Then you would want to collect those things,
Yeah. Because you
keep
can
them. Yeah.
I don't know, afford and amass the things that you're really interested in, and
right, and actually hang on to them.
Yeah. Keep experiencing them.
Right. That's kind of cool because you probably have a personal connection to every one of those things.
Probably, yeah. A little story to go with each thing.
Right. Yeah. So that's pretty awesome. Yeah. I don't have those experiences. I buy it from Sweetwater and it arrives.
Yeah, it's not anybody famous touched it and signed it.
Geez, I need to do something special with that because somebody signed it or touched it or signed my butt or something. Yeah.
Yes. Whole different story. Sorry, people.
Yeah.
Go back
That's one of our
episode, 6 or 7? I don't remember which one it was.
6.
5 or 6? Might have been 5 or 6.
Yeah, I can't remember. We'll find out in a minute because it is one of the better ones that we did. So
it was entertaining.
All right, so moving on.
That was the story I thought was pretty darn interesting.
All right. And then the one from Dave that comes in, he told me about, and I didn't really know anything about it until he told me. So I looked up some stuff since he wasn't here today. And Dokken is going on tour. And so his big line to me was, his text message to me was, Dokken and George Lynch are together touring again. And that's half true. So Dave kind of got it a little... He got excited, I think.
Yeah.
But so here's the actual deal. So Dokken is going on tour 2020 and 2021. I guess they're going to have a number of people with them throughout the tour. Lita Ford is going to play a few shows with them.
Oh. Go Lita.
And so Don Dokken is going to play with Don Dokken's band. George Lynch is going to be there with the Lynch Mob, so with his own band, and apparently they're going to do a special encore together,
like a combo,
like maybe they'll do a couple, like 1 or 2 of their old songs. It's going to be like an encore performance in the show. So so you'll be able to see
them together.
The rumor is kind of true. They will do probably a song or something together. And like, I don't even know which one they would do, but I don't know. If I were to say, God, I don't even know which one I would want them to do together again if I were to go to see that show. But anyway, that's the gist of it. So they are going on tour. Let's see. Dokken and Lynch reunion is going to be in Biloxi, Mississippi on March 6th. That's the upcoming one. So I don't know how often they're going to be together. That's the thing. It doesn't really say if they're going to do the whole tour together or just specific shows together. That I'm not sure of.
Yeah, because it'd be nice if they put on there, because when I was looking at the Lita Ford tour, with Alice Cooper coming up, they were specifying when, certain people wouldn't be at that tour.
Yeah.
So if you really wanted to go to see, I don't even remember who it was that was going to be on tour with Alice Cooper and Lita Ford, but
I don't know.
I'm
I
sure
think
it
you
was
said
somebody good. Yeah, I said it, but I'm pretty tired right now.
Right.
But yeah, it said, will not be appearing. So it would be nice if they'd say.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's really, like, on the Biloxi, Mississippi, March 6th one, it does say Dokken / Lynch reunion is what it says. And all the rest of them just kind of say where they're performing at. Yeah, like El Paso, Texas, Speaking Rock Entertainment Center. Go through the list. They're going to be playing 2 nights at Whiskey A Go-Go in West Hollywood. So there's, but this site that I brought up, which is on songkick.com, I never even heard of this website before, but this is what kind of came up when I first looked this up. There's some recent tour reviews for Dokken. So I think this is newsworthy. Yeah. Because Don, I don't think has sounded his best when I heard him the last time I saw like some concert video footage of him. But Warrant, I guess they're touring too. Yeah. I don't know who their lead singer is. Because Janie Lang died.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not sure who
took over.
Or Janie Lane. Did I say Lang? Lane died. Sorry, Janie. Rest in peace. But anyway, here's one review. It says, after Warrant put on a great show, Dokken came out for an 80-minute set with a well-rested vocalist Don Dokken delivering a solid set of Dokken favorites, including Breaking the Chains, Dream Warriors, and Into the Fire. John Levin was shredding on electric guitar, lead guitar, and impressed with an excellent solo on Too High to Fly. Another review says, Dokken was fantastic. Don can't sing like he used to, but he was a true professional. His band is very good. He also is a great storyteller. He has been around for a very long time and continues to rock on. I love the band and will see them any chance I get. So that's a cool review. Here's one a little more bashing, I guess, a little bit. The sound system in this venue literally sucks compared to the previous owner's system. So I don't know where they were playing. Jumbled sound up close and muffled sound the further you're away. Show was to start at 8 a.m. The first band didn't start until 9:30. So that was just a bad experience altogether with the sound. That has nothing to do with the band. Yeah. So I would say it's go see him, man.
Yeah.
Old 80s hair metal bands out there.
They're
give them
all
a little love.
Coming around, man.
Yeah, give them a little love. Don Dokken's always been awesome. I think George Lynch.
I always liked George.
Yeah. So, does that wrap up our news? You got anything else?
No, other than I'm really hoping for the Lita Ford Alice Cooper tour to.
Yeah.
Come out. I've always loved Lita.
Yeah,
Alice,
me too.
I don't know, as a teenager.
I love Alice Cooper.
A scary poster of him up, like above my headboard. Yeah. So when I'd wake up, it would like wake me up because that was some scary shit.
Yeah.
So you got to admire the guy.
But Alice Cooper puts on an awesome show.
He does.
Yeah.
He's very creative.
Yeah. And who's his, I forget his guitar player's name. Hang on, I gotta look it up.
Quick Google.
Yeah. I know her name. Nita Strauss is his guitar player, so she is really awesome too. So that would be a great show to go see. And yeah, Lita Ford, Alice Cooper, awesome. Should be a good show. And of course, Dokken and George Lynch coming around. So it should be a great summer for shows if you guys are looking to get into some shows. And I guess Ozzy is probably going to be touring around too. So,
if you're tired of this new music and you want the 80s back, it's coming at you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So after you're done with your taste of J-Lo and Shakira tonight, then you can look forward to a little old 80s metal.
Classic rock.
Yeah, there you go. It used to be 80s metal. Now it's just classic rock.
It is.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's sad when you hear, like, when I heard Dio, Rainbow in the Dark at Walmart.
Yeah, crazy.
I was like,
That's like elevator music now.
It is.
Because metal today is
I had to stop and just listen. Right. That's how they keep us in the store.
It's like thrash, death metal stuff is what is metal now.
Yeah.
Hair metal back then was just like top 40 stuff or something. Today I don't even get it, but it's all metal to me. So awesome stuff.
Good quality stuff.
Get out there and check out the old dudes still making it work.
Yeah.
So so we want to go into a little analytics. Yeah, let's take a look at that podcast since you brought it up. By podcast, by episode. So look at that. Episode 5 was the / Gibson NAMM and Janae's Vince Neil connection episode. That has 25 downloads, the most out of any of our episodes so far.
So I need to tell my bad stories.
Apparently that draws a lot of listeners. I don't know. Well, a lot. 25.
25. The most for us.
Most for us.
Not bad.
Yeah, so not bad. So we're slowly growing in the countries that people are listening to us. Obviously, the United States is huge.
Obviously.
Huge with 43. Right. Netherlands, Australia, Canada, Switzerland, and we've broken into the what do we call it? The East,
I am horrible with geography.
The Far East, I guess.
The Far East.
Taiwan.
Yeah.
We have one download there. Turkey, we have one download.
Yeah.
So Janae had brought up something which was really funny yesterday. We have to scroll to see all the countries.
All the countries. Now. We now have a scroll bar. We have broken through.
We've broken through, so we have to actually scroll down to see all the countries that our podcast is
So we appreciate you guys, wherever you are.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely. Yeah. And we got to plug everything. So if you're interested in supporting the podcast, please go to patreon.com/guitarsandgear. You can pledge for as little as $2 per month. That's actually the only tier right now. We are going to expand that to another tier, hopefully sooner than later, but we'll see. But right now it's just a $2 tier. For that, you get an extra bonus episode. So as soon as we get people signing up for that, we're gonna do a bonus episode. It'll be like a half hour, 45-minute additional content that we'll do every week that only you will be having access to. Yeah. We also intend on having other tiers where we'll have video segments. We'll have
then you can see all the cool equipment.
Yeah, we can actually try to do some Patreon live stuff too, and have Patreon members actually fire in some questions, comments, bring up topics to talk about and stuff like that. So I think that would be awesome. A lot of fun to have other people participate and stuff online. So hopefully we can make this whole thing grow, but we really need your support to do that. So once again, go to patreon.com/guitarsandgear and pledge your support. It'd be great. We'd love it. Yeah. Every one of that does not go into our pockets, by the way. No. We are going to put that into better gear. So when we do get into video segments, we can have something a little bit better than Logitech webcams. But that's what you'll get initially until you reach some goals.
Yeah. We truly aren't that fuzzy. So
yeah, well, we'll see how it works out. We'll have to be really creative with lighting or something. I'm not sure how we're going to do it. But we will do it.
At this hour, don't expect us to look our best.
No, but we'll definitely be fun.
Yeah.
It'll definitely be a good time.
It'll be entertaining.
Yeah, so definitely pledge your support. And if you do have questions, comments, or you just want to say hi, or you want to bash us for something that we said wrong, you can go ahead and do that at guitarsandgear19@gmail.com. You can do that anytime. Go ahead and reach out to us. Give us some, topics you want us to talk about. ask us questions, whatever you want. Obviously, anything too personal, we're not going to respond to. But
yeah,
and don't just email us to bash us,
or sell us anything.
Or sell us anything.
We're not buying.
We're not buying. And we're not selling any. Well, we're not really selling. No. But eventually, if we do get popular enough, we want to have some merchandise out there too. If we do get that popular. So we're looking into a lot of avenues and stuff, but we really need viewership to come up as well. Yeah. And some more support. So, and then hopefully with more viewers and stuff, if we can show we have a lot of viewership, then we can get some sponsored support here too, which is what we'd like to do to get some additional revenue coming in. So if we do have the support of the podcast community behind us, and that's all you have to do is listen, then we can actually prove that we have some good traffic, and we can get some sponsorships going too. Yeah. Because we'd love to do some advertising on here as well. And get that going too. Maybe we can get some gear in-house that we can talk about. When we get the video segments up, we can have a YouTube channel. Yeah. Which we already have out, actually.
Yeah.
But that's where all it has is our podcast
Baz wrote
replays
to us, right?
Yeah. So you can go to our YouTube channel too.
Comment on there.
Yeah, go ahead and do a search for Guitars and Gear Podcast out on YouTube. You can see replays of this this podcast out there. That's really all that's there right now, but we can eventually put videos out there. Yeah. Do gear reviews, unboxings, FYIs or whatever. Yeah. Whatever. We can throw it out there on YouTube. So that's something we're looking to do to expand as well. But we really need your support, and we probably need to get on social media a little bit more too. And, plug ourselves a little better. But we're working it. We're
getting there.
Anyway, guys, I think that's about it.
Yep.
Oh, we never got the end segment of our news done. Do I need to play the end jingle for news?
Sure, if you want to push the button now. See what happens.
Boy, say it with a little more enthusiasm. If you want to push that button. There you go. So yeah. Now the news is over, and now the podcast is over. So we're a little over an hour into it. So I really appreciate all you guys. Thanks a lot for listening, and we will catch you guys next week with hopefully Dave on board again.
Yeah. He'll have some news
I'm sure he'll have a
south.
lot of stuff to talk about next week. So thanks again, guys, and take care. Have a great week.
Happy Super Bowl.
Yeah, enjoy the Super Bowl.
Yay.
We'll talk about that next week.
Yeah.
That'll be our starter.
By the time you hear this, it's over. So
that's true.
So hope it was good.
We're gonna post.
Are we posting it today?
We're gonna post it today. Yeah.
Oh,
it's gonna post right after we're done here.
All right. Yeah, enjoy the Super Bowl. Don't eat too much. Joking.
Yeah.
We're gonna stuff.
So this is recorded on Super Bowl Sunday morning, and it's gonna air Super Bowl Sunday. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Happy Sunday then.
Yeah. So if you don't like Shakira and stuff, listen to this.
Yeah.
Good to go. All right, guys. Take care.
Have a great week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Go Chiefs.